Coast to coast. $1 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Coast to Coast Pick 5. Weekends beginning January 7th.
Hi, and welcome to the Coast to Coast Pick 5 preview. I'm Jeremy Plonk along with Jeff Siegel. We're going to talk California and Florida on a big Pegasus World Cup day. Let's look at the schedule of races on Saturdays, Coast to Coast Pick 5. It'll get underway at Santa Anita in race number 2, 3:59 Eastern, the post time for the Las Virgenes. Then to Gulfstream for the Pegasus Philly and Mare Turf. Back to a turf mile allowance at Santa Anita in race number 3, and then we'll wrap with the Pegasus Turf and the Pegasus World Cup Turf races 12 and 13 at Gulfstream Park. Joined now by Santa Anita handicapper Jeff Siegel. Jeff, let's get right into this edition of the Las Virgenes. Some big name 3-year-old fillies.
Yeah, it's a good race. Good 3-year-old fillies here. A field of 6. The favorite, Feza, I think you have to use her. She was life and death to beat Pride of the Nile when they met in the Starlet. There's a 2-pound shift in the weights for Pride of the Nile. If that means anything, probably doesn't. But Pride of the Nile is really working well. I think she can give Feza everything she's got again, and maybe even beat her this time. Pride of the Nile is working really well. Series of very sharp works for Doug O'Neill on the training track, and looking like she's ready to step forward. Pride of the Niles get better with age, and I think the Pioneer of the Niles get better with age. Pride of the Nile, I think, will as well. Nothing wrong with Feza. Those are the two that I'm going to use, and the better price at 3-1 is Pride of the Nile. Let's see if we can get her home. Taking
a little stand against Justique in that spot.
I am. I want to see if she's not just a one-turn horse. Her 2-turn race, she was favored. She didn't run at all. She's been sick. She was scratched. I think she's one I'm going to try to leave out here.
Let's go to race number 3 at Santa Anita. It's a mile on the turf, allowance company. Who you got here?
I've got Eleuthera. This is a square Eddie filly that was a troubled 4th down the hill. She can route. She can even be on the lead if they want her to be. I think she's got a very good chance to break running and maybe make the running, or maybe just sit second. But I think she's ready to step forward in a big way. True Patriot's one you have to use as well. They come out of the same race. True Patriot flew down the hill to be second in that same race that Eleuthera was a troubled 4th. The thing about True Patriot, though, is I'm concerned that she might be a late running sprinter. I don't know about her 2 turns, so I'll throw her in for protection, but the main push for me is number 4, Eleuthera.
Good luck, Jeff. We'll have Brian Nadeau from Gulfstream Park on Pegasus Day coming up next. For more information on Saturday's Pegasus World Cup card, including full card AI picks and expert handicappers across the first family of race tracks, be sure to go to first.com/guide and download the Express Bet and First Bet Pegasus World Cup Wager Guide. We're joined now to talk on the Coast to Coast Pick 5 about the 3 Pegasus races 11, 12, and 13 with Brian Nadeau in the Silks Room at Gulfstream Park. Brian, let's get right to the Philly Mare Turf, race number 11. How do you see it?
JP, I wish I had something clever for you. I really don't. I respect the heck out of Dalika. The job Alstall's done with her, but I just can't get by Shantasara. Chad Brown brought Regal Glory here for this race last year, and she was awesome. And I know he thought he had a champion on his hands in Shantasara last year. It didn't really work out that well. And her comeback on Breeders' Cup night wasn't that good either. But I just feel like the fact that she's here, JP, and I would assume she's going to deliver her best race, I just think at the end of the day, that best race is too good for these.
Using any others or singling there?
I'm going to single her right off the bat. Like I said, I respect Dalika, and she'll be a decent price because they're going to bet Shantasara hard. But I'm not going to use I'm not going to say she's a free square, but I'm going to use my leverage there in that spot.
Let's go to the turf. Race number 12, Pegasus World Cup Turf, worth $1 million. How do you whittle this one down?
Well, you don't really, and that's where I'm fortunate enough with some leverage in that race, and we'll talk about the World Cup in a second, but you don't. I was going to take the all ball, and Ron Nicoletti would have scolded me, but I'm going to tell you what, if you have any kind of form, you're going to be on my ticket. Now, the dart landed on number 11, Masterpiece in here, 3 for 3 at the distance. Safi Joseph Jr. is going to take over from Michael McCarthy. We've got a hint of tactical speed. The pace looks pretty honest in here, and whoever you like in this race and whoever you might think is the best horse in this race, their margin for error is so slim. If this race was at a mile, I would tell you Ivar is 7 or 8 to 5 in this race. Well, it's not at a mile, and at 9 furlongs, I really feel like that stretches his rubber band mighty thin. He is the best horse. but this is a trip that I might be a little too far for him. City Man's on the outside. I don't like that post. I wanted value. I went with Masterpiece in a race where I think you have to use a lot of horses.
If it makes you or the listeners feel any better out there, Jeff Siegel, crossover, also likes Masterpiece in the
All right,
turf.
well, that's good to know.
You're in good company. To the Pegasus World Cup, race number 13 on the card. How do you see it rounding out?
Boy, there's a lot of different ways you can go in here, too, and it's a really good Pegasus. It's deep. It's competitive. It might be from top to bottom the best Pegasus we've ever had.
Yeah.
I like Skippy Longstocking, and I like him a lot. And I did not like him in the Harlan's Holiday, and I watched that race live. Of course, I'm here, and I just kind of put it into my mind that, wow, you know what? If he's going to win a short stretch finish line race off the layoff, and he's going to do it like that, you better look out in the Pegasus. Now he gets 9 furlongs. He stretches out. I think a lot of them are playing his game. The pace could be honest. I respect the speed of Defunded from the West Coast, and maybe he runs them off their feet. I get it, but I like Skippy Longstocking quite a bit in this spot.
All right. Good luck in the Pegasus World Cup races. And, of course, in the Coast to Coast Pick 5 on Saturday. Let's review the picks from Brian and Jeff. And a reminder, these are done pre-scratches, so be sure to check out the official websites at Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita for the updated scratches and changes. Good luck in the Coast to Coast Pick 5.